If you're over 50, there's a very high chance you've been reheating at least one of these foods almost every week, maybe even every day, thinking it's completely safe. But what if I told you that one simple habit in your kitchen could be quietly increasing inflammation, damaging your cells, and in some cases, even raising your risk of cancer? And the worst part? Most people have no idea they're doing it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods to never reheat again and what to do instead to protect your body. Hello, and welcome back to Dr. Laney. Today we're talking about something that seems harmless, routine, even smart. Reheating leftovers. We've all done it. Maybe you cooked a big batch of food to save time. Maybe you don't like wasting food. Maybe you just don't feel like cooking again. But here's the truth. Not all foods are safe to reheat. In fact, some foods can undergo chemical changes when reheated, changes that may produce harmful compounds, irritate your digestive system, and over time, contribute to serious health risks. And if you're over 45, your body is already more sensitive to these changes. Your metabolism slows, your detox system isn't as efficient, your cells don't repair damage as quickly. So what used to be fine in your 20s or 30s can become a real problem later in life. Today I'm going to walk you through 4 common foods you should never reheat, ranked from least dangerous to the one that shocked even me. And trust me, the number 1 food is something almost everyone reheats without thinking twice. Let's take a moment to understand what's really happening inside your body. When food is cooked, its structure changes. Proteins break down, fats oxidize, certain nutrients become more available. That's normal, but when you cool that food and then reheat it again, especially at high temperatures or multiple times, you're creating an environment where new chemical compounds can form. Some of these compounds are harmless, but others, they can be inflammatory. They can irritate your gut. And in some cases, they can damage your cells over time. You might not feel it immediately, but subtle symptoms begin to show up. You might notice more bloating after meals, a strange metallic or bitter taste, increased fatigue, joint stiffness, or even changes in digestion, and you don't connect it to your food because the food looks normal. But inside your body, it's not. Let me explain this in a simple way. When certain foods are reheated, especially proteins and oils, they can form what we call oxidative byproducts. These are unstable molecules that can stress your cells. Over time, this stress contributes to something called oxidative damage. Think of it like rust forming inside your body. Now, your body does have defenses against this, but as we age, those defenses weaken. So when you repeatedly expose your system to these compounds, you're slowly tipping the balance. And that's where long-term problems can begin. Now, let's get into the foods, because this is where things get eye-opening. Number 4, spinach and leafy greens. Let's start with something that surprises most people. Spinach. Yes, the same spinach you've been told is incredibly healthy. And it is. Fresh spinach is packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals that support your heart, brain, and immune system. But when it's reheated, especially more than once, things change. Spinach contains naturally occurring compounds called nitrates. On their own, nitrates are not harmful. But when spinach is cooked, cooled, and then reheated, these nitrates can convert into nitrites, and under certain conditions, nitrites can form compounds called nitrosamines. Now, nitrosamines have been linked to cellular damage and increased cancer risk when exposure is frequent over time. Does that mean one reheated spinach meal is dangerous? No. But regular exposure, especially over years, is something you want to avoid. Benefits of spinach. Fresh. It supports blood flow, eye health, and immunity. Downside when reheated. Potential formation of harmful compounds. Score, 6.5 out of 10 for risk when reheated regularly. And here's what most people get wrong. They think microwaving makes it safer. It doesn't. The issue isn't the microwave, it's the reheating process itself. Number 3, chicken. Now we're getting into something much more common. Chicken? It's one of the most consumed proteins in the world. Lean, affordable, versatile. But reheating chicken can be problematic for a different reason. Chicken is rich in protein, and when protein is exposed to repeated heat, its structure changes. These changes can make the protein harder to digest, and for some people, especially over 50, this can lead to bloating, gas, indigestion, or even nausea. But that's not the biggest concern. When chicken is improperly stored and then reheated, it can also become a breeding ground for bacteria. Even if you reheat it thoroughly, certain toxins produced by bacteria may still remain. And your digestive system, especially as you age, is less forgiving. Benefits of chicken. Excellent source of protein for muscle maintenance. Downside when reheated. Digestive strain and potential toxin exposure. Score, 7 out of 10. Now here's the twist. Most people think, as long as it's hot, it's safe. That's not always true. Number 2, rice. This one shocks people. Rice seems harmless, simple, neutral, safe, but rice is actually one of the most risky foods to reheat improperly. Here's why. Raw rice can contain spores of a bacteria called Bacillus cereus. Cooking the rice doesn't always destroy these spores. And when cooked rice is left at room temperature, those spores can multiply and produce toxins. Now here's the key point. Reheating rice does not destroy these toxins. So even if your rice is steaming hot, the harmful substances can still be there, and they can lead to food poisoning, vomiting, diarrhea, severe stomach cramps. And for older adults, this can be more serious than you think. Dehydration alone can become dangerous quickly. Benefits of rice. Quick energy, easy to digest when fresh. Downside when reheated improperly, toxin buildup. Score, 8.5 out of 10. But wait. The next one is even more concerning, and almost nobody talks about it, because the number one food is something people reheat almost daily. It's in breakfast, it's in lunch, it's in leftovers. And the way most people reheat it is exactly what increases the risk. In the next part, I'm going to reveal that food, explain exactly why it's dangerous, and most importantly, what you should do instead to protect your health without giving it up completely. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Number 1, vegetable oils, the most dangerous one when reheated. Let's talk about the one that almost nobody expects. Vegetable oils. I'm talking about the oils you probably use every single day. Cooking oil. Frying oil used in leftovers oil inside restaurant takeout. And here's the problem. When these oils are heated once, they already begin to break down. But when they are reheated again, especially at high temperatures, they can form toxic compounds that are extremely harmful to your body. I'm talking about substances like aldehydes, lipid peroxides. These are not just unhealthy. They are strongly linked to inflammation, artery damage, cellular stress, and yes, long-term cancer risk. Now here's what makes this even worse. Most people don't just reheat oil once. They reuse it, they fry food, save the oil, and use it again. Or they eat leftovers that were cooked in oil and reheat them the next day. That's multiple rounds of heat exposure. Each time, the oil becomes more unstable, more toxic, more damaging. And your body? It has to deal with that damage every single time you eat it. why this matters more. After 50, as we age, our body becomes less efficient at handling oxidative stress. Your liver slows down. Your cells repair more slowly. Your blood vessels become more sensitive. So when you consume reheated oils regularly, you're not just adding calories, you're adding stress to your system. And over time, that stress builds up. You might notice more fatigue, slower recovery, increased joint pain, poor circulation, brain fog. And you don't realize it's coming from something as simple as reheated oil. Benefits versus risks. Let's be clear, not all oils are bad. Healthy fats are essential. They support your brain, hormones, and heart. But the moment oil is repeatedly heated, it transforms. Benefits: when fresh, supports energy, nutrient absorption, and cell health. Downside: when reheated, produces toxic compounds that damage cells. Score: 9.5 out of 10. This is the one you need to take seriously. How to use this information, practical steps. Now you might be thinking, okay, doctor, so what do I actually do? Let's make this simple and realistic, because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I want you to feel in control. Step 1. Avoid reheating oil-based foods multiple times. If food was fried or heavily cooked in oil, try not to reheat it more than once. If possible, eat it fresh, or store smaller portions so you don't keep reheating the same batch. Step 2. Store food properly. For foods like rice and chicken, cool them quickly after cooking. Store in the refrigerator within 1 to 2 hours. Keep them in airtight containers. This slows down bacterial growth. Step 3. Reheat only what you need. Instead of reheating the entire dish, take out a portion. Heat only what you'll eat. This reduces repeated exposure. Step 4. Use gentler reheating methods. Avoid very high heat when reheating. Use low heat on the stove. Short microwave intervals. The goal is to warm, not recook. Step 5. Consider safer alternatives. For example, instead of reheating spinach, eat it fresh or lightly cooked. Instead of reheating oily leftovers, add fresh ingredients to balance it. Small changes, big impact. Warnings, very important. Now I need to say this clearly. This video is not meant to scare you. It's meant to inform you. Eating reheated food occasionally is not going to cause immediate harm, but repeated habits over months and years, that's where the risk builds. And if you have a sensitive digestive system, liver issues, weakened immunity, or chronic inflammation, you need to be even more careful. Always consult your healthcare provider if you have specific conditions. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Health is not just about what you eat. It's about how you prepare it, how you store it, and how you treat it after it's cooked. These small, everyday habits, they shape your future. They determine how you feel when you wake up, how your body moves, how your mind thinks, and how long you stay independent, strong, and full of life. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just start with awareness. Start with one better choice, because your body is always listening to what you do, and it responds every single day. If you found this helpful, type health in the comments so I know you made it to the end, and tell me, what's one food you've been reheating that surprised you today? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Dr. Laney, and share this with someone you care about, because sometimes the smallest changes can protect you from the biggest risks.